Go ahead and begin. I'd like to welcome each and every one of you to this cold and brisk December evening. This is the 24th meeting of the Board of Directors for calendar year 2025. It will close out our year. We do have an agenda meeting on Tuesday, December 30th, and that'll be the final time that we'll gather as a body, as an elected body. We'll begin tonight's meeting with invocation by Pastor Adam Kendall Ball with Hot Springs Church of Christ, and I'll lead the pledge. All rise.
Shall we pray? Dear God, our divine lawgiver in heaven, we give you the glory, honor, and praise that is due to your mighty name. We give you grateful thanks for Hot Springs, for its beauty, for its people, for its leaders, and for those who serve it, and for the blessing that it is our home. We thank you for the ones who are meeting tonight to make decisions for the city and its residents. We thank you for their time, for their dedication, and their concern for Hot Springs and her people. Please be with them tonight and always as they make decisions and decide the course of this place where we live. Guide them, help them with your word, strengthen them, and help them to lead and direct this community in you and for you. Bless us all with safety, peace, and love tonight. In the name of Jesus, amen.
Amen. Please join me in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'll now call this meeting to order. Please call the roll.
Director Aaron Holliday. Here. Director Phyllis Beard. Director Marcia Dobbs-Smith.
Here.
Director Dudley Webb.
Here.
Director Karen Garcia.
Here.
Director Steve Trusty.
Here.
Mayor Pat McCabe.
Here. This time we'll consider approval of the agenda. Are there any additions, deletions to the agenda, or items to be moved from the consent agenda to new business? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Approval of the agenda.
Second.
Director Garcia, seconded by Director Webb. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Agenda is adopted. Consider approval of the minutes of the regularly held meeting of December 2nd, 2025. Are there any additions, deletions, or corrections to the minutes as presented?
Make a
Hearing
motion to approve.
Director Webb, seconded by
Second.
Director Marcia Dobbs-Smith. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Minutes are approved. Recognition of guests. We have a very special guest, Mr. Anthony Tidwell. We have somebody introducing Anthony. Anthony, come on up. We're recognizing Anthony for his prevention recovery program at the Hot Springs School District. Please tell us a little bit about your program.
Mayor?
Pat.
Yes. I'm sorry.
Yeah, if you don't mind, Mayor, I have just a little bit to say,
Yeah, please.
and
Yeah.
then we'll be more than happy to pass it over to Anthony. So we've got a guest here today who is highly deserving to be recognized for his major role in the successful implementation and maintaining of the Hot Springs School District Prevention Recovery Program. It's at this time, Anthony is up here now, but I want to call upon Kirk Lane, Director of Arkansas Opioid Recovery Partnership, and Ms. Tanisha Barnes, the Deputy Director, if y'all will, and then Jason Graves, who is the SRO with Hot Springs School District. Will y'all come join Anthony? And then I think Dr. Hernandez, you're here too, Superintendent for Hot Springs School. Can you come up too? Thank you.
Welcome all.
We got the whole bunch here. Just a little history, Mayor, if you'll just give me just a few minutes. One of the most important and meaningful lunches that I ever had in my life happened in June of 2023 in Little Rock, Arkansas at the Municipal League Conference. Joining me at that lunch that day were both Director and Deputy Director Kirk Lane and Tanisha Barnes. Now the food was great, but the conversation was even better. They both shared with me the success of the Hot Springs Police Department's peer recovery program. Then the conversation shifted to prevention. The program in place today at the Hot Springs School District, junior and senior high campuses, to incorporate substance abuse awareness, opioid overdose prevention, stigma reduction, appropriate service recognitions for students, their families, and training staff, all required a complete design from scratch, as it was a pilot program for the state of Arkansas. And that's what we did. A lot of great people, many of whom who are in this very room tonight, were part of this process in some degree, whether it be through just their support or their helpful and ingenious, in some cases, implementation of their ideas to make the program narrative fit for the school. And I do want to take some time to recognize those. Chief Harverton, who's here tonight, Sheriff McCormick, Judge Mahoney, City Manager Bill Burrow, Peer Recovery Specialist at the Hot Springs Police Department, Carrie Montgomery, Miss Esther Dixon, Mayor McCabe, Hot Springs School District Police Chief Seymour, JP's Jimmy Young, Dayton Myers, even Director Dobb Smith. I remember you being a part of a couple of events that we had too, and a few others. And then, of course, the Hot Springs School District. Previous Superintendent Dr. Nahus, who helped us hit the ground running, and then current Superintendent Dr. Hernandez, who is giving his blessings and full support for this program too. Ms. Rossberg and Dr. Eccles, and then of course leaves the eye candy of AORP, which is Director Kirk Lane, and then the brains of AORP, Deputy Director Tanisha Barnes. Together, the perfect team. The number of lives just y'all have saved due to your work with AORP is truly invaluable. And that number continues to grow with every passing day and every supported project and program, just like what we have at Hot Springs School District. I thank you both. I thank the AORP board, all supporters, and then the Hot Springs community for having faith in this program. Now, to the man of the hour, Mr. Anthony Tidwell, who I think is joined tonight by his wife too, who is here. First and foremost, Anthony is the perfect leader and mastermind for the Prevention Recovery Program at the Hot Springs School District. Everyone loves him because they know he loves everyone. That type of mindset with the students, their families, the staff, the administration, is what has allowed trust to be the foundation for the success that this program has had for almost 2 years. The program's mission and goals are what drives Anthony's passion, commitment, and dedication to give hope to students and their families. Doing all of this hand in hand with his SRO partner, Jason Graves. In conclusion, I want to share just a few of the success points Anthony's had so far, and in no particular order. Number one, in year one, he serviced around 70 students and their families. In year two, I think we're on pace to break service for over 100 youth and their families. Number three, he founded a drug-free youth coalition at the junior and senior high campuses, and this coalition has 7 solid partnerships so far, to include number 1, the Harbor House, number 2, Carrie Montgomery, number 3, the Hot Springs Police Department, number 4, Marcus Tatum, who's with the Ouachita Children, Youth, and Family Services, number 5, Tristan Taylor with Healing Hearts and Spirits, part of the Arkansas State Police Highway and Safety Division, and then just a few others. Fourth point, the coordination of several drug awareness campaigns such as Red Ribbon Week and National Prevention Month. On top of all of this, he does one-on-one programs on campus, both the junior and senior high. He has group classes for students, prevention curriculum design, and then a Ditch Vape event for students. And the list literally goes on and on. Not to mention, he is the founder and director of Cupwell for Kids, which began in 2014 right here in Hot Springs too. And this is a year-round arts pathway for all youth and children in Hot Springs. Peer recovery, and this is just some final interesting points. Peer recovery in law enforcement agencies got its start here in Hot Springs, over at Hot Springs Police Department, and is now in multiple law enforcement agencies across the state. Prevention recovery also got its start here in Hot Springs in public schools with the Hot Springs School District, and will now be available to other public schools across the state. The portal for this prevention recovery program will close January 20th. It opened December 5th. And this is to give other public schools a chance to apply to have this very same program that we're speaking on tonight. This is a huge deal for Hot Springs, and especially for our police department and for the Hot Springs School District. I want to say this, Anthony, you are a hero to our youth. All of you that have had anything at all to do with this program, you are a hero. Dr. Hernandez, Tanisha, Kurt, Jason, Bill, Mayor, directors, Chief Harverton, all of y'all, you're heroes for the life-saving techniques that you provide for our community. And so now it just gives me great honor on behalf of the Board of Directors to not only recognize you, Anthony, here tonight, but to also present to you a key to the city. And you deserve it.
Anthony, please share a few words.
I don't know if I can go behind that. But thank you. My pops always say, son, don't look for pats on your back, just do the work. And I've just been doing the work. And drug abuse is like an elephant in the room, and it's a delicate subject. But with my training over the years as a prevention specialist, with my education with it being in my household and in my community, I faced it with empathy, with education, and with professionalism. I'm dealing with our family in our communities that need help. And I want to thank AR for, if you don't have the funds, you can't operate. And I appreciate Kurt. I watched Kurt, Mr. Lane, and Miss Tanisha Barnes go all the way to DC and work for these funds for the state of Arkansas, competing against every other state in the state of Arkansas for our citizens in Arkansas. And I thank you. I saw you. And that's how strong I'm working for our kids here in the community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Come back up here. We're going to take a couple of pictures. Dr. Hernandez, great. I'm going to look right here. And Jackson, bring your wife. Dr. Hernandez, your wife?
Thank you again. Keep up the great work. not on your agenda, I'd like to introduce another guest here. I ran into this person over the weekend, and they gave me an update on a program that is very vital to a number of people during this time of year. And I'd like to call upon Sally Carter to come up and talk a little bit. She's involved in so many things, and one of the areas that she's involved in is feeding, students or the less advantaged in Lake Hamilton School District. And you have a deer program that hunters can donate a deer, and it helps feed, needy families in the Lake Hamilton School District. Tell us a little bit about, Bill reminded me just a second ago that deer season, modern gun is over, but there's still a 3-day Christmas hunt and
We'll still
some-
take you deer.
some bow. So tell us a little bit about that program and how it's benefited and what kind of harvest you've had.
Well, I'm going to introduce a guest that I told Pat I was going to bring. Ronnie, will you come up? And I partnered a little bit with Ronnie Ritter for the second year. Ronnie is the executive director, I guess you'd call it, of Hunters Feeding the Hungry. And he and I were talking. We did this a little bit last year, but we realized with the government shutdown and with the SNAP benefits stalled, we were looking at a crisis. Already, if you'll look it up, you'll find out that Garland County itself is about 16% or a little bit over that as to the food insecurity level. So we had a number of schools and pantries and churches and people that were begging us for some venison. So I talked to Ronnie and I said, I think we're going to need to step up our program a little bit this year. So we really started advertising, and I'm going to let him tell you the numbers, but basically you would donate a deer, and we had that deer, and if it was at one of our local processors, they would process it free to the person who donated, ground that meat up into venison, and then we would take it up to the school districts. And you're going to be surprised when you hear what we did. I can tell you right now that the processor I worked with closely had 25 deer donated so far. That's a lot of deer meat. Also, we had several churches, the Resource Center, different food pantries. They raised their own money and paid for their deer to be processed, but they could be given away at any of our food banks, any of those things. So I'm going to let Ronnie tell you a little bit about the program, and then I want you to reach back, get that wallet out a little bit, and be thinking about that checkbook and those things. John Vines always said, if Carter comes in the room, you better hold your checkbook. But this is a wonderful program that has helped so many people in Garland County. You just need to know about it. So, Ronnie?
So, for those of y'all that don't know, Hunters Feeding Hungry started 25 years ago. I've got people back here too, so basically what Hunters Feeding Hungry does is you harvest extra deer. See, if you kill more than what you want, you take to one of our processors, and we've got 3 here in Garland County. We've got 70 across the state. So they either grind that into burger, or we make the snack sticks, which we've gotten into the Hot Springs School District, all 3 of the elementary schools, and I'll give you some numbers here in a minute. But basically what Sally said, we kind of faced a crisis this year, all across the state, but even here in Garland County. So Sally started advertising, we kind of kicked up the numbers, and I think, I'm just going to give you some numbers here. So blacks out in the Sunshine area, everything that goes there goes to Lake Hamilton Food Pantry. What a lot of people don't realize is a lot of these schools are realizing that family has a lot of needs. So this deer burger, and we just give it to the school like Lake Hamilton. So Lake Hamilton so far, and I just got an update today, we have delivered 1,138 pounds to the Lake Hamilton Resource Center, which is the food pantry in the back. So that's a lot of burger. If you went out and bought even the cheap cheap burger, cheap beef, you're looking at $5 a pound. And most of these centers don't, the food pantries is not funded by the school in most cases, so that's $5,000 or $6,000 worth of meat that we give to them. Now, we get funding from Hot Springs Community Foundation. They give us a grant every year. We get from various sources across the state. So, but here's some other, we started the Snack Stick program 7 years ago. We do several thousand here in Garland County. So Cutter Morning Stars already got 1,100 packages. Langston, Oaklawn, Main Street, each got 1,100 packages each. Lake Hamilton, which they currently do about 300 backpacks per week. 300. It's a pretty big school district, but 300 per week. They've got 4,200 packages already. Lakeside, 2,000 packages. Lakeside also has a freezer that they can accept meat from Hawthorne's. Jessville's got 1,100, Fountain Lake 1,100, and then I hadn't got it up to Mountain Pine yet. Sally, you want to carry that up there for me? Yeah. Okay. So total of these Snack Stick packages, which is primarily for the weekend backpack program. The schools have it's called a backpack program. Sometimes they put it in a sack, so they carry it home to kids that are food insecure on the weekend. So last year we did 180,000 packages statewide. It was a phenomenal year. So the total packages so far here in Garland County is 12,800. The Community Resource Center, I think we carried 50 pounds down there for them to cook. Cutter School has got 250 pounds. Lakeside's got 50 pounds. And Lake Hamilton's got 1,138. So far we've gotten 1,488 pounds of deer burger. And the Snack Sticks so far this year in the state of Arkansas, over 120,000. So, I mean, I could give you all kind of facts and figures, but I won't take up any more of your time, so.
Well, we appreciate the update. Sally, last year I guess I gave funds that would process 10 deer, and I'm doing the same this year, so you can help with maybe getting a few more in there.
Great. We have to pay for all of those at some point in time.
Wonder what your check was.
Thank you so much.
I got one other question for you.
Yes.
Oh, they did?
Sally, I don't know, I'm not on Facebook very often, but I think I came across an article or somewhere that last year you had a gentleman in town that had a pledge of $50,000.
Yes, sir.
If there was some matching money, he would donate $50,000 to the Community Resource Center. And I think maybe that person's doing it again. Can you kind of tell the community the results of that from last year and what's happening this year?
We can. We raised $56,000 with all the community, the organization, the Elks, everybody helping. And we were able then to get his match last year. Well, he approached me a couple of weeks ago and he said, hey, I've got another $50,000. And if y'all can match that $50,000 in the next couple of months, I'll give it to you. So we are going around now asking, we're save you pennies, whatever you have, because this is so important to us at the Resource Center. And so far, we've had 3 nights that we have opened as a warming shelter. We're averaging 40 people a night with that. We promised you all, we promised the community that if we had a place to bring folks in, we would open more, and we are doing that. Anytime that the temperature reaches 30 degrees or less, we open as a warming shelter. We can hold 112 people at the center, and then we also have a partner agency that's going to take several others, because as you know, last year at the height of the cold spell and the snow, we had like 139 people. So hopefully we can get everybody housed during those nights. It costs a lot. We're relying on Chief and his group to be our security this year. They're great. They stop by our center every hour and check on us. They're 2 minutes away. If we have to call them, we hardly ever have to call them. So we're excited about this year. We've got a lot of protocols in place we did not have last year, and it's running smoothly. So we thank you. Yes, we will. In fact, I had a bank call me this afternoon and said we want to pledge $5,000 toward the match. So we certainly would appreciate it if you all could pass the word.
Well,
Any other questions?
no, it's great. It's time of giving, and we know that there are those who are less fortunate and those who have the capability. As you just indicated, you know, just scraping the change off the floorboard of your car adds up.
Yes, sir.
I've turned cars in at times, and it's amazing how much money's on the floorboard.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for having
Appreciate
us.
you. This time we'll hear from our city manager for the city manager's report. Phil?
Thank you, Mayor, members of the board. As I normally do, I'd like to start off with welcoming 3 new hires. Dylan Chandler in Utilities, Ray Samuels in Utilities, and Aaron Jones in Solid Waste. Want to welcome them to the city of Hot Springs. Also want to recognize several that have had promotions over the past couple of weeks. Christy Hebner was promoted to the Planning and Development Counter Planner. She's been here for a little while with us, and glad to see her able to move into that counter planner positions. Robert Burris promoted to Intra-City Transit Field Supervisor. He's got an S on his name. Good name, but we're not related. But glad to see Robert having that opportunity to move into the supervision of Intra-City Transit. Blake Forga and Juan Diaz were promoted as Hot Springs Police Officer First Class. And then Joey Vernig has taken on a really big responsibility in the Utilities Department. He was promoted to our Utilities Water Distribution Manager upon the retirement of Travis Emmett. So congratulations to all of those that were promoted, and welcome to our 3 new hires. City offices, I've had a lot of questions on when the city was going to be closed during the Christmas holidays. It's kind of been a little all over the place with different forms of government. I think Garland County is going to be closed for Thursday and Friday. Our policies in the city, we're closed on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, so the city will be closed on Wednesday and Thursday. However, we will be open on Friday. Albeit there may be some skeleton crews that are here, but we will be open for business on Friday the 26th. Just learned today that the state, who had originally planned to close as well as by statute on the 24th and 25th, the governor today sent out a proclamation that the state will also be closed on the 26th. So states closed 24, 25, 26. The counties closed the 25th and 26th. Cities closed on the 24th and 25th. Solid waste commercial and residential services, they will not operate on Christmas Day. However, they will resume on Friday the 26th, and they'll be picking up Thursday waste volumes on Friday, and then Saturday they'll pick up what would normally be Friday's route. Same with residential services, Earth Angel Recycling, and leaf and mulch collection. The solid waste transfer station, they will be closed to the public on both the 24th and 25th. Transportation depot will be closed on the 24th and 25th. Intercity bus and paratransit services, they will run until 5 p.m. on Christmas Eve. They will not be operating on Christmas Day. And the compost will be closed on December 24th and 25th as well. The City of Hot Springs Animal Services, they'll be hosting their annual Home for the Holidays adoption event from 11 to 2 on Saturday, December the 20th. They're at the Hot Springs Animal Shelter at 319 Davidson Drive. Sally was here. I had several things to say about our Community Resource Center. I will say they are having a fundraiser on the 22nd. I think it's $25 a ticket, but they'll be hosting a seat at the table community holiday gathering. I think that's a Monday night, and the event invites community members to just enjoy an evening of warmth and celebration, complete with Hot Meal, Cocoa, and Festive Music. Hot Springs Catering Company and Signature Events will be hosting that event, catering that event. Doors open at 5:30. If you'd like a ticket, you can stop by the Community Resource Center or go to the Hot Springs Community Resource Facebook page for additional information. As Sally mentioned, as temperatures drop, we'll start seeing the Community Resource Center opening on more evenings. If it's 30 or below, it'll be open. Each winter we have several that rely on some type of safe shelter. We're glad to see the Community Resource Center. It was open last year, and as she mentioned, 129, 130 people is really, really tough to manage in that facility. But glad to see that we've got another organization that's stepping up to partner to take some overflow. I think those are primarily women, but we are able to house 112 there at the center. We're open, of course, every day during the day for warming services and lunch. They're seeing about 85 to 90 people a day now at the lunch. And I can tell you that we've got a lot of great partners with Hot Springs Convention Center, Oaklawn Event Center, and a lot of the meals that are coming from those areas over to the Community Resource Center. The food has been really great, and Chef Betsy's done a really, really good job of making those things happen. We still have a very heavy investment in the Recycle Center. They're always asking for donations. They need donations, and it could be anything from clothes to dog food for the animals that are there. So I'll get questions, hey, is the city not supporting the Recycle Center? So it's important to note that these are things in addition to what we particularly do. I think we have a little over $300,000 invested in the center this year. So I want to make sure that the folks know that we are heavily invested in the center. It's definitely a partnership with the Friends of the Community Resource Center. But all the donations helps fund the warming shelter, daily meals, showers, critical resources that really help people get back on their feet. Mayor, I was glad to hear you bring up the $50,000 matching donation that's out there. Knowing Sally, she's not gonna stop until she's earned enough to be able to take that other $50,000. So appreciate all that she does, as well as all of those that are supporting and helping as volunteers at the center. If you're interested in volunteering, you can go to the Community Resource Center's website or Facebook page. There's an area on there that you can sign up to have somebody follow up with you on volunteer opportunities. First Security Way Fire Station, our 7 South Fire Station, it's coming along really well. The new station is expected to be complete late January, early February. We hope to have it in operation by May. We'll be hiring 9 additional firefighters. As you know, 3 firefighters, 3 drivers, and 3 lieutenants. Currently, contractors are applying the first coat of paint and then working with the under driveway drainage plumbing. So it's getting really close. Christmas parade was on December the 8th, and want to thank the Oaklawn Rotary for the work they did on the Christmas parade. We had various city departments, animal services, fire, police, parks and trails, including several of you. Several of our board members were there, and I think we even had a Mrs. Claus on top of the fire truck.
Maybe.
But want to thank all of the departments for supporting and participating in the Christmas parade this year. With members of the Parks and Trails Department, they had about 40 various community members from Hot Springs Thoroughbreds and Hot Springs Bicycling Tour. All of those were riding bicycles as their float. I don't know if you're able to catch that portion of it, but they had a really good time riding the bikes, and really that's just to encourage more outdoor recreation, and want to thank those 2 organizations as well. I want to thank again the Parks and Trails Department. They hosted the Christmas Memories event on Friday, December the 5th at Kenneth Adair Memorial Park. The event offered participants the opportunity to create an ornament in memory of a loved one and be able to hang that on the memory tree. They also offered candy canes, hot chocolate, and all of those that came. They had a really good turnout for that annual event, and appreciate all that they do. And while I'm on Parks and Recreation, They spend months on our Christmas decorations downtown to be able to meet that November date when we have the chili cook-off and flip the switch. It is a monumental effort when you go around our city and you see the number of trees that are wrapped, the things that are hanging in Hill Wheatley Plaza, Adair Park, Glover Park, Craighead Park. It is a lot of work, a labor of love. And then you get down to the Arlington Lawn, and they're responsible for those as well. So just want to thank them for all the work that they do to make Hot Springs such a festive and beautiful place during Christmas. We wouldn't pull it off without them. On December 3rd, the Hot Springs Elks Lodge, number 380, hosted its annual Outstanding Law Enforcement Officer of the Year banquet, and very proud of Hot Springs Police Detective Chris McLone. He was presented with the Outstanding Law Enforcement Officer 2025 award. He was awarded this award due to his exceptional dedication and service to the community. So I want to thank the Elks Lodge for always recognizing our public safety individuals, both in police and in fire. And then last couple of notes, Utilities had the 17th annual chili cook-off, which also was the 3rd annual gumbo competition. They started adding this Gumbo Fest on December the 11th. The fundraiser supports our families within the city. We always adopt 5 or 6 families within the city, individual employees that may need a little help during the Christmas season to make sure that they have a very nice holiday for their family. And usually there's 3 or 4 children on each one of the families. Chief, I know that we had one officer that adopted one family, and then I think the Shop with a Cop adopted about 7 children out of that. So I want to thank you for all you're doing. And I know that Shop with the Cop will be another successful event this year. But anyway, we were able to raise about $5,200 at that chili cook-off that they had down in Utilities. Josh Lambert won first place in the chili, and Monty Ledbetter won first place in the gumbo. So I'll have to try some of his gumbo at some point. But just appreciate all the work that goes into that. Sheila Winter, she does a lot. Not only for that chili cook-off, but really organizing and bringing things together for our Christmas families, and it's a very touching moment when you're able to spend that time with those employees and just see what it means to them to be able to have a much better Christmas for their kids and their families. So appreciate all the work that goes in on that. And then finally, Mayor, I know this is something that you talk about every year, and I know all of the members of the board are proud of this. We were notified that the City of Hot Springs has been honored by the Arkansas Business as a 2025 Trendsetter City. The city won 2 awards this year that will be presented at the Arkansas Municipal League's Winter Conference. All of you should be proud and able to go up and accept those awards. We were the winner in the diversity and inclusion category for cities over 20,000 for the work that's being done at the Community Resource Center. And then we received an honorable mention in the infrastructure and water for the precision detection system on leaks that we have in our water utility system. So very proud of those. Those are very competitive, as you know. There's 500 cities in the state of Arkansas, and there's 3 different categories, the largest being in cities over 20,000. And it's always nice to be recognized and see some of the things that we're doing be recognized on a state level. So, Mayor, that completes my report.
Very good, very thorough. Just you had a little tongue slip there on the twice during your report on the crisis center. You said recycle center. So
Did I really?
yeah. So there was no.
Hey, you can take the boy out of the solid waste department, but you can't take
there
the
was
solid
no
waste
report
boy out
this
of the
evening on the recycle center. So just insert
Resource
crisis center. So we'll get the recycle center another time, and then you can put crisis in the middle of that one.
Well, I'll probably call it the resource center.
So very nice report. All right, and the board of directors announcements of upcoming events. Director Webb.
Thank you, Mayor. The event that I want to share with everybody here tonight is known as Crazy Train, America's Aussie Experience. This takes place Thursday, January 1st. I just about saw some head banging over there. Bill and B, I saw y'all doing your head banging. Thursday, January 1st at 7 p.m., Oak Lawn, Hot Springs, 2705 Central Avenue. Get ready to rock in the new year with Crazy Train. The ultimate touring Ozzy Osbourne tribute show storms the Oak Lawn Event Center on January 1st. This is an event that will be hosted by Vinnie Cormier, North America's #1 Ozzy tribute artist. This high-energy show delivers all the hits from Black Sabbath classics to Patient Number 9 with mind-blowing visuals and special effects. Backed by a powerhouse band, including his son Dylan, Crazy Train brings the full live and loud 1993 experience to life. Crazy Train, America's Ozzy tribute pre-sale, starts Thursday at 10 in the morning with password Ozzy25, and then tickets go on sale Friday at 10 a.m. So again, Thursday, January 1st at 7 p.m. at Oak Lawn, Crazy Train, America's Ozzy experience.
Very good. Director Garcia.
On a different musical note, the public is invited to a celebration of the magic of Christmas music at the Garland County Library this coming Sunday, the 21st, at 2:30 p.m. The Singing Soul Sisters, who are based out of First Baptist Church, will have a program there for the holiday Christmas extravaganza, and the public's invited, and this is a free event. So come out before Christmas and enjoy, get in the spirit if you're not already. But this will be a very nice program. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other announcements of upcoming events? Director Trustee.
Thank you, Mayor. The Garland County Library is having a blood drive on Wednesday, December 31st from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. The donors get a free Hope is the Vibe sweatshirt, a ticket good for free entry to the Museum of Discovery, and a ticket for one free item from Nothing Bundt Cakes. Walk-ins are welcome, but appointments are preferred. To make an appointment out there, please call 877-340-8777 or visit obi.org. And that will be hosted by Our Blood Institute, but it's at the Garland County Library.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other announcements? Director Dobb Smith.
There are several churches in the area that are having candlelight services. If you've never been to one, they're very beautiful. I know First United Methodist and First Baptist are both having them, and I'm sure there are several other churches. It just kind of puts you in the mood to take you down and get ready to think about what the season's really all about.
Very good. Any other announcements? Hearing none, we'll move on to the consent agenda. These are of a routine nature, do not merit individual discussion, so I'll entertain a motion to approve. Director Trustee?
So moved.
Seconded by Director Garcia. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Consent agenda is adopted. We have a couple items under old business. First is consider resolution R-25-191. Ask city attorney to read by title.
Resolution R-25-191, a resolution declaring a certain structure located at 229 Bluff Street a nuisance and condemning same pursuant to Title 17 of the Hot Springs Code. That concludes your reading, Mayor. If you would entertain a motion second to adopt.
Motion to adopt.
So moved.
Director Trustee, seconded by
Second.
Director Holliday. And our staff report will be provided by Mr. James Hardage, Neighborhood Services Manager. Welcome.
Good evening and thank you. 229 Bluff is a single-family residence located in District 1. Both the Arkansas Fire Prevention Code Volume 2 and the International Property Maintenance Code, which is part of our Hot Springs Property Maintenance Code, define an unsafe building. Section 116 of the Arkansas Fire Prevention Code, 116.1, states that structures or existing equipment that are or hereafter become unsafe, insanitary, or deficient because of inadequate means of egress, facilities, inadequate light and ventilation, or which constitute a fire hazard, or are otherwise dangerous to human or life or public welfare, or that involve illegal or improper occupancy or inadequate maintenance shall be deemed an unsafe condition. A vacant structure that is not secured against entry shall be deemed unsafe. This property originally came before the board on October 21st and was tabled to tonight after Miss Adrienne Knowles requested time to have the ownership changed into her name. You may recall from our previous meeting that the Neighborhood Services has had a file on this property since 1998. Over the past 27 years, we've sent numerous notices over several, not all at once, but over the span of 27 years. Many of the original issues still remain. We're on the latest notice that was sent this year. Last week, I mentioned in the agenda meeting that the county website still lists Herman and Flossie Knowles as the owners. This morning I checked and it is still the same. No additional work has been done to the structure since the October meeting or in the past several years, and due to the extent of the deterioration and the owner's inability to repair the structure and having no other alternative, we are recommending that the structure be condemned for the purpose of removal.
Any questions of James? Thank you. Anybody sign up to speak?
We did not have anybody sign up.
Is there anybody that wants to speak on this matter? Please come forward and state your name and address, please, and district. You might need to pull the mic down just a little bit. There you go.
Is that
Thank
better?
you. Yeah.
My name is Adrienne Knowles, and I'm sorry, what was the other part of that I needed to?
You're fine.
Okay. I appreciate you all giving me extra time the last time we were here. I actually have been able to contact a cousin that I haven't spoken with in 20 years, and she's coming in on the 22nd. We're supposed to get together about maybe, because there's still quite a few of us that we were needing to prove the airship, and so I think she was our last link, and so I'm pretty, I guess, requesting just a little more time. I really want to fix the property. Like I said, I would want my grandchildren to grow there. We've been there 75 plus years right there, and I just need a little bit more time.
Well, if we did condemn tonight, any action wouldn't take effect for 30 days, so that you would have your 22nd is next week, early next week, and so you could still have that meeting and provide, you know, and get some of the affairs in order, and then I would then get with Mr. Hardage and kind of explain where you're at. But if we did take action today, it wouldn't be effective for 30 days. So you still have 30 days to kind of tie some of those loose strings together.
Better. So,
Okay.
yes, that's helpful.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you have any questions of our guest? Director Webb?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. So the meeting, the 22nd, with your cousin that you hadn't spoke to in 20 years, that's the missing link, that's the final piece supposedly of your puzzle to get deed transfer, isn't that correct?
That's the
Something
hope,
to those-
yes.
If the cousin's response is, yes, we don't mind signing whatever you need me to, do you have plans moving forward to transfer that deed?
Yes, yes, I do.
Can you share those with us? Like, do you have, and, you know, I'm not that familiar with that whole process. Would it be realistic to expect that if the meeting, the 22nd, and I'm looking at you, Brian, for this question too, if the meeting were to be successful the 22nd and she could get all the signatures that she needed to make that deed transfer, would it be realistic to think that between then and 30 days from today that she could get all of that done to take away the condemnation? Or would the transfer itself, would that take away the condemnation, or would she need to pull permits after the condemnation to do that?
Yeah, I'll take those in reverse order.
Okay.
If that's okay.
That's okay.
She could
I'll-
pull a permit if she were the record title holder, and she can attain that through a deed. The issue is, and you know, I'm going a lot of assumptions here. I don't know if all of the relatives are in tune, and if all of the relatives are willing to take the action necessary to make that happen.
What does that action look like? Is it as simple as she just has a paper saying, I so-and-so sign off my portion of this property to,
Yeah.
and then her name?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know their family tree.
Okay.
It's descent and distribution. Under the probate code, it's too late to probate a will. After 5 years, you can't probate a will even if there was one. So they would have to do it through an intestate proceeding or an affidavit of collection of small estate. But it's going to be who the heirs that law are, and I don't know who those are.
Thank you.
And I actually, the last direct heir of Herman and Flossie, we lost him on the 7th of last month. So there are no more children of them. And I'm not quite certain, because before he passed away, he had given me a quick title deed. And someone said that now that he is gone, that is no longer relevant. So I'm not certain.
Yeah, we can't advise you on that, but like I said, you do have, if the action is to condemn, you have 30 days to kind of get this in order and then just work with Mr. Hardage as to where you're at. The 31st day, we're not coming in with heavy equipment, okay?
All right, all right.
All right, so just work with James, okay?
All right. Thank you all.
Thank you. Any discussion amongst directors? Director Trustee?
Thank you, Mayor. Brian, this is probably to you. We've had a file on this since 1998. What has made this process take 27 years? Because James said some of the actions or some of the things we asked to be corrected 27 years ago still haven't been corrected.
I think this is the first time that it's come to the board for condemnation, so I can't really answer your question.
Okay. I didn't know if you'd seen the file.
No, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Director Holliday. Aye. Beard.
No.
Dobbs Smith.
Aye.
Webb.
No.
Garcia.
Aye.
Trustee.
Aye.
Mayor McCabe.
Aye. Resolution's adopted. At this time, we'll consider resolution R-25-192, and I ask the city attorney to read by title.
Resolution R-25-192, a resolution declaring a certain structure located at 210 Walter Street a nuisance and condemning same pursuant to Title 17 of the Hot Springs Code. That concludes your reading, Mayor. If you would entertain a motion, second to adopt.
Motion to adopt.
So moved.
Director Trustee, seconded by Director Webb. And again, Mr. Hardage, Neighborhood Services Manager, will provide us an update.
Thank you again. 210 Walter Street is also a single-family residence located in District 1. In addition to the excerpt from the Arkansas Fire Prevention Code that I read earlier, the International Property Maintenance Code defines a structure that is unfit for occupancy as one that is unsafe, unlawful, or because of the degree to which the structure is in disrepair or lacks maintenance, is insanitary, vermin or rat infested, contains filth and contamination, or lacks ventilation, illumination, sanitary or heating facilities, or other essential equipment required by this code, or because the location of the structure constitutes a hazard to the occupants of the structure or to the public. And again, as with the previous property, this one originally came before the board on October 21st and was tabled to tonight to give, after Miss Barbara Crom requested time to have the ownership changed into her name. As of this morning, the county website still lists Ralph and Williams and Louise Roma Williams as the owners. No additional work has been done at the structure since the October meeting. And Ms. Crom has paid the property taxes on December 4th. When we met in October, they were delinquent, but they are now current. Having no other alternative and due to the extent of the deterioration and the owner's inability to repair the structure, we are recommending that the structure be condemned for the purpose of demolition or removal, I'm sorry.
Any questions of Mr. Hardage? Very good, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
We have one individual who signed up to speak on this resolution, Ms. Monica Womack. Would you like to come forward and Restate your name and address, please, and district, city district.
My name is Monica Womack. I live at currently 209 Walter Street, Hot Springs, Arkansas, District 1. This is 210 property, has been a nuisance for a long time. We have a lot of people that are living, going in and out of them, homeless people. We currently have, the neighbor has electricity dragged to this property and has it hooked up to electricity inside the property. And it's been a very big eyesore, and we have a whole bunch of people going to the backyards with flashlights throughout the nights. It has not changed. I have photos if you need them. And that's all I have to say.
Okay. Any questions of Ms. Womack from board members?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
That's all I have that is signed up, but Ms. Crom, come forward and kind of restate your name, address, and district, please.
Barbara Crone, 271 Kite Trail, Hot Springs, Arkansas. I do have it in my name now. Well, I don't know what date it was, but it was last week anyway. But I have papers showing that it's all been put in my name. I paid the taxes, and I've got somebody that's going to fix the roof first. It'd be after the holidays, of course. And as far as what Ms. Womack said, they have been trying to get my son that lives in the house next door out of the property. There's been family members that don't want him living there. It all stemmed over my mom. She hasn't lived there as long as the rest of us have. I've been there most of my life, and my parents lived there, and my grandparents lived in the other house. So it's been in our family probably over 50 years. I don't know about people going in and out because I'm not up there, but I will have a talk with my son and find out what's going on. But the house next to that has a tree that overlaps in that yard, and a lot of the rotting is coming from the debris from that tree. There's no trees in the yard at 210. So all of it is coming from the house next door, which I think is maybe 203 or 206. I'm not sure what the address is. And that's about all I got.
Okay. Now, this same, which I spoke of to the previous, on the previous resolution, if we took action today, you'd have 30 days to pull a building permit, and then again work with Mr. Hardage. I think in the past you did not have proper title or deed to the property, so you couldn't move forward.
Right.
So you're indicating to this board at this time you do have that all
Yes.
clean or cleared, and that you are able to go pull a permit. You've paid your taxes, and anything else, James, that's owed to the city, or anything that would prevent her from pulling a permit?
There are no other issues that I'm aware of that would prevent her from pulling the permit.
Okay. So if we did take action today to condemn it, again, just like I indicated, there's a 30-day period of time, and you pull a permit and you maintain communication with James.
Okay.
You got your 6 months to take action and then move forward.
Well, I don't
So-
want to go 6 months.
Well, we
Get
don't
it done.
want you to either, but as we've learned in some of our other actions over the last month or so, every time you get an inspection, the permit extends for 6 months. So there would be an inspection after the roof was repaired?
Correct. As soon as the contractor called in and said he was finished with the roof, we would go inspect it.
Yeah.
And if the roof passes, then it extends.
Then
it
they
6
roll
months.
out 6 more months. Okay. Any questions of Ms. Crom from board members? Thank you. Thank you for working towards, getting everything resolved.
All right, thank you.
Any discussion amongst directors? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Director Beard,
Aye.
Dobbs Smith.
Aye.
Webb.
Aye.
Garcia.
Aye.
Trustee.
Aye.
Holliday.
Aye.
Mayor McCabe.
Aye, resolution's adopted. This time we'll consider ordinance O-25-50, and I'll entertain a motion to suspend the rules and read by title.
So moved.
Director
Second.
Trustee, second. Who made the second?
Second.
Director Garcia.
Director Garcia. All in favor of the motion to suspend the rules and read by title signify by saying aye. Aye, opposed, same sign. Council, please read by title.
Ordinance O-25-50, an ordinance calling a special election in the city of Hot Springs, Arkansas on the question of compensation for the Hot Springs Board of Directors and prescribing other matters relating thereto. That concludes your reading, Mayor. If you would, entertain a motion, a second to adopt, and have discussion, if any.
Motion to adopt.
So moved.
Director Trustee, seconded by
Second.
Director Holliday. And our city attorney, Mr. Albright, will provide the staff report.
Mayor, this had come to the board at your last business meeting, after which it was tabled. We conducted a work session with the board on the issue. The issues before you, the statute allows this to go to the voters to determine whether or not the board will be compensated. And then after that approval is obtained, the board then sets the compensation. The discussion at the work session led to an alternative option being prepared, and so there's an alternative ordinance that was included in your packet for your consideration this evening, if you wish to substitute it for what is currently on the floor. So let me go through the procedural issues first, if you don't mind. Because this was tabled, the item that came to you at your last business meeting had to come back to you as written. So with that document, you can do, one of three things essentially. You can approve it, you can deny it, you can amend it, or you can table it, I guess, four. One of the ways that you could amend it, if you so chose, would be to substitute the alternative that was provided in your packet. If you did that, you could continue to have discussion on the alternative by way of amendments and so forth. But I wanted to set that first. The alternative that was provided to you calls for, again, an election to be held May the 3rd on the question of compensation for the members of the Board of Directors of the City of Hot Springs, Arkansas. The ballot title is changed in this alternative version to vote for or against authorizing the members of the Board of Directors of the City of Hot Springs, Arkansas to receive W-2 compensation in the amount of $750 per month to begin effective July 1, 2026, along with individual health care insurance and Arkansas Public Employees Retirement System membership, subject to the eligibility requirements of the existing respective programs and authorization by subsequent ordinance for same. Over the course of the last week, we have been trying to get background information both from APERS and from the insurance providers. It doesn't look as though APERS is very promising based on the information that we received back from them. The insurance, we would have to create a separate class, a separate category of employee for that to take place. Not saying that it couldn't happen, but as written, should this go to the voters and should the voters approve this, it would still be subject to whatever the eligibility requirements are and a subsequent ordinance that ultimately authorizes that based on those eligibility requirements. I'll try to answer any questions that you may have.
Any questions for Brian?
Mayor, could I just clarify one thing real quick? I want to make sure that the election date would be March 3rd. I think there was a little it's not May 3rd, it's
Oh, did I
March
say
3rd.
May? Oh, my
May.
goodness.
So I just wanted to clarify
March.
that.
Yes. Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Any questions of Brian?
Recycle.
Recycle. May the 5th. Who knows?
All right, well, we do have Director Holliday.
Thank you. I think you were about to say we have someone probably signed up to speak. If if it is most appropriate, I would like to move to amend this item to have the alternative language used. However, if we wanted to hear from the public in advance, I'm fine with that as well, because I know what was provided to the public. They may want to speak on the original language versus the amended language. So I'm, either way, at some point,
Yeah,
I will likely
I don't want
move to
to
amend.
pass over. I think we ought to have well, I don't know, Brian, have the individuals that signed up speak at this time, or until we have something that's more
Yeah,
concrete?
I think it's 6 of one, half dozen of another. However, it does make a little bit more sense to talk about what you're ultimately going to consider.
Yeah.
If you know you're not going to consider the original version that came to you at your last business meeting, and you want to substitute that now prior to have discussion on it, that
Okay.
might make some sense. But you're not bound by that by any means.
Well, let's continue to have discussion. Is there any further discussion on what's on the floor now? Do we need to move to the alternative? I make a motion to amend to the alternative, or take action on this.
Well, it sounds like nobody has any thoughts on the original language, so I will go ahead and make the motion to amend and use the alternative language.
And for purposes of identification, so that we know what we're talking about, I will refer to that as O-25-50A.
A.
A.
I'll
Okay,
second
so-
that.
So we have a
motion.
motion and a second to substitute O-25-50A, substitute that for what was originally in the agenda. So we have a motion by Director Holliday, and we have a second by Director Trustee. Any discussion on that? Please call the roll.
Director Dobbs-Smith,
No.
Webb,
No.
Garcia,
Aye.
Trustee,
Aye.
Holiday,
Aye.
Beard,
Aye.
Mayor McCade.
Aye. Motion to amend to O-25-50A is adopted or approved. Okay, so now discussion on O-25-50A. Any comments or discussion on that? You know, Brian, we moved into this, when I read the proposed ordinance, what we're calling as A, you know, to me, maybe it got a little bit cumbersome, because, you know, we're looking at compensation, and then we got into, you know, APRS and healthcare, and those all have qualifying rules that you know, would probably make participation, probably would not allow participation, perhaps. What's the provision for just providing a stipend? Is there ability just to do a stipend and keep it? Are we allowed to do a stipend
Well,
and not have the employee category or a W-2, and
sure.
how that would work?
You know, you could do something, you know, along the lines of a stipend. I think it would still be considered compensation.
Correct.
And so you would end up essentially in a 1099 function, which you're able to, I'm no accountant, I'll defer to Ms. Scott and Director Garcia. But, you know, you're able to offset that income with expenses that you incur associated with that income. So if you wanted to offset that by deducting your mileage and things like that from that income, you could do so, or you could still seek reimbursement for those types of expenses.
Thank you for the clarification. Any other comments or questions? Director Webb?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I think at our previous work session, Mayor, you had mentioned something, and I don't know how well it took. We could find out here tonight, but you had mentioned that, you know, if by chance this were to pass by the board tonight, there could be some amendment that goes in play that to state that no compensation by any current director could be taken until after January 1st of 2031, but I noticed that wasn't included on here as part of option B.
There is a date stated in there, July
Okay.
1, 2026. So if someone wants to change that, a motion to amend would be in order.
Okay, I make that motion to change that 26 date to January 1st, 2031.
I have a motion to change the effective date to January 1, 2031. Is there a second? Is there a second? Third time, is there a second? Hearing none, the motion or the amendment fails. Further discussion? Motion to amend fails.
A question.
Director Garcia?
In lieu of the comments you made regarding the stipend or 1099, if that was wanted to, that would require a amendment to change that to W-2 compensation to 1099 compensation, if that's what you were referring to. Is that right?
I would agree, yes.
Just point of procedure. Are we discussing now and to get ready to vote on option B, or are we calling up public comment to
No,
speak
we'll
and then we'll
once
have director
Once we
discussion?
kind of get it to a
Try-
point where we
okay.
understand what's definition of is, we'll bring up the public.
And then do board discussion?
We're
after
still in
public
board
com-
discussion.
I understood that we were at the
No.
point where you're inquiring of staff, like
Okay.
you
Correct.
typically do.
Gotcha.
We're directing questions, we're making amendments. Board discussion occurs after public speaks.
This is a question, I guess, to take us back throughout the history. Have we ever had an election for city director where nobody was on the ballot to run for a particular seat, like from District 1, 2, 3, all the way through District 6 and even the mayor?
Where there was no candidate for
Correct.
the position, not that I know of. I don't
Okay.
think so. Certainly not since it became a city manager form of government in 1986, no.
Well, there might have been one early on in the government where there was some filing irregularities, and so there was
For alderman.
was it for alderman, and there had to be there was
Had to be
a
a
write-in,
write-in.
there was a write-in campaign because nobody filed appropriately, so nobody could be put on the ballot.
We actually had a chancellor's race that occurred as well. Judge Schweitzer had to go right in against Judge Robbins. And Judge Schweitzer always said that the reason that he lost was because people couldn't spell Schweitzer as well as they could Robbins.
But,
Please continue.
thank you, Mayor. That was prior to city manager form? That was, okay, so that was prior to 1986? None since that debacle? Okay.
All right. Are we at the point where the item that's before us is going to remain unchanged, or is there any other amendments to option A? Hearing none, let me call the public. Mr. George Pritchett, please come forward and restate your name, address, and district, please. Welcome.
Thank you. George Pritchett, 207 Crestwood. It amazes me that this job, I ran for this job. I lost. I was defeated by Phyllis. I cooperate with Phyllis, and we've talked a little bit about, I think we may disagree about some things, but we agree on a lot of things. But I'm appalled. We changed the form of government, and we wasn't paying anybody for how many years? Since 1986? And now, I look at every one of you, you're successful people. Anybody that ran for this office had to spend several $1,000s. I spent several thousand of my own money, and I'm ashamed to say I spent several thousand of other people's money too. I didn't mind mine, but I really hated it when I lost for theirs. But this is not a full-time job. And talk about insurance. We give that to people that work full-time. This is just wrong. I believe that if you're on the ballot and you've supported this, you're going to have some opponents, and I believe you will lose. This is just not right. I would serve this city in any capacity they called and asked me to, for nothing, if I thought I could be helpful. I continually volunteer to the county judge. He doesn't call me very often, but he sure gets aggravated at me from time to time. Thank you.
Any questions for Mr. Pritchett? Thank you. That concludes those that have signed up. Any comments, discussion amongst directors? Director Holliday?
Thank you. I just want to reiterate, and it's kind of a little bit into response of what Mr. Pritchett said and the conversations in our work session, that at least for me personally, putting this on the ballot, one, we're just asking the public to state their opinion. It's not whether or not we are asking for ourselves or have an expectation of compensation. We're allowing the public, and part of the reason I think that's important is because, especially now, we just talked about the financial situation of so many people in our community. We have very intelligent, very driven individuals in our community who just may not have the financial ability to take the amount of time that it takes to do this job, and they could be very valuable in these seats. And this is just an opportunity for the city to, our residents, to think about that. Do they want to invest in a compensation plan that we are putting out there of only $750 a month that could offset some of the expenses that someone would have to incur, whether it's time off from work, child care, elder care that was brought up. I know a lot of people in my district do volunteer. They may serve on committees or commissions, but an hour a month is very different than what we end up doing. And I would just hate for someone to not run because they just didn't think they could afford it. And that's what this is about. For me, I think if we feel that it would be more digestible for it to be 1099 and not include the insurance components, that's also fine. I really just want to make sure that if someone wants to serve in this capacity, that finances are not what keep them from it.
Any other comments or questions? Director Webb?
Thank you, Mayor. I'm not going to beat a dead horse. A lot of the points that I was trying to make for what we're viewing here tonight with this ordinance, I said at our previous meeting. I mentioned those same points at the work session last week. You know, for me, I fall back on my oath to the community, to the city of Hot Springs, to the district that I love serving. And that oath that I took January 1st of 2023 had nothing to do with compensation for pay. I knew it at that time. Matter of fact, I knew it prior to being sworn in. I knew it as I was running for this very office, that there wasn't going to be any compensation for me for the service that I provide for District 4, the city of Hot Springs, and in some cases, Garland County. I love what I do. And I don't think it's fair now, after being in office since 2023, to come back on that promise that I made that January day of 2023 and say, oh, now I want you to start paying me. We're having a discussion here tonight over not just our own money. This is taxpayer money. This is me, you, everybody that resides here in Hot Springs. This is their money, and we're having a discussion over this money to pay ourselves. It just doesn't seem right to me. I don't think we are a charity. I don't think we should be bringing this type of initiative to a ballot. In my opinion, if the people of Hot Springs have it in their heart and mind that what we do is worthy of compensation, let a group of people off of this board take this initiative to the ballot. And, you know, I heard you mention Brian, that there hasn't been any election since 1986, when the city manager form of government was started here for Hot Springs, that there hasn't been somebody run for a city director position or the mayor position. So the thought that this might entice others to run, when has that ever been a problem for us? If in fact the reason for having this is to do just that, why would you not second my motion to have this compensation not take effect until January of 2031? Why would you in fact not take my initiative to have this initiative go on the ballot in November? You know, I pointed out some numbers that did come from the Secretary of State's office, that the total number of voters that turn out to vote are doubled in November versus March. So if the initiative for this ballot option is to truly bring out what the people think is best for what should happen for compensation for the directors, why not put it on a ballot when more people vote? We are in a hurry, it looks like to me, to get it on the ballot in March. This was an option, or I shouldn't say an option, this was a topic that came up, I think in late 23, early 24, and nobody paid it any attention. That was an election year too. And now that we're here close to 2026, now we want to start bringing it up. So just the dots don't connect for me. And I have no problem serving without any compensation. And I'm going to do everything I can to convince at least 3 more of you to join me in that. Vote no.
All right.
I'm going to be voting no.
I have a couple comments. First of all, there's no action that we take today that's going to pay city directors. No actions that we do today is going to pay 1 penny to a city director through a W-2, okay? That all the action that is taken today is whether or not we allow the voters an option to vote on this issue. And I think it's always appropriate to allow voters to vote. I'm on record of saying I'm not accepting any compensation of any kind, and I'm prayerful that if it is approved by the voters, that I don't end up having to pay taxes on money I didn't get. I don't want it, and I just turn it back, you know. At the same time, you know, we have people who, as Director Holliday, and I've made the similar comments in the past, that, you know, there are people who might be on the sidelines if they received a little bit of money to offset some of their expenses or time away from work and things of that nature, that then they could fully participate at a higher level within the community. And to the degree that if the voters were to approve this and that person came off the sidelines to serve, then that's a good thing. You know, as I've indicated in the past, you know, I personally incur a goodly amount of expense. I'm not complaining, because when I'm away from where I work, I have to bring somebody on, and most of the time it's with that time and a half. But that's my choice, and I do that willingly, and I'm not asking for anybody to cry a river for me or anything like that. It's just one of those things that I'm willing to do. It's what I give back. So the state legislature years ago, wasn't that long ago actually, curtailed what was what some at terms friends and family election, you know, like a Tuesday before the 4th of July or the Tuesday after Memorial Weekend. That, you know, nobody's thinking about elections. So there's only 2 times you can have an election of this kind, and that's, you know, the first one that comes available is the primary election in March. So there's no trying to pull the wool over anybody's eyes or come through the back door. It is one of 2 opportunities. So so with that, you know, I think it's appropriate to allow the voters to have their say on this, and the voters' will be honored. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none. Please call the roll on option A.
What?
What?
Oh.
Pardon?
I heard you say option A. That's because you switched B to A now?
There was
No, there's never.
No, it wasn't B.
It was-
Okay.
Alternative A.
Yeah.
Alternative A, okay.
Well, that's what, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, well, it's
That's what Brian called it.
O-25-50A. Please call the roll.
Director Webb,
No.
Garcia,
Aye.
Trustee,
Aye.
Holliday,
Aye.
Beard,
Aye.
Dobbs Smith,
No.
Mayor McCabe.
Aye. Ordinance is adopted. Moving on to new business, consider resolution R-25-235. And council, please read by title.
Resolution R-25-235, a resolution extending an agreement with High Impact Movement, Inc., pursuant to Arkansas Code annotated section 14-58-104, paragraph 18, for a life skills and educational youth program. That concludes your reading, Mayor. If you would entertain a motion second to adopt.
Motion to adopt.
So moved.
Director Trustee, seconded by
Second.
Dobbs Smith. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, pose same sign. Staff report will be provided by Deputy City Manager Lance Spitzer. Welcome.
Good evening, everyone. This item before you this evening is to consider extending the current agreement with High Impact Movement. This agreement that's before you this evening would extend it into 2026, December 31st, 2026. The contract amount was approved in the 2026 budget as well. That is $125,000 is the contract request. That would be paid out in equal monthly installments beginning January 1st if the board chooses to approve. High Impact Movement, obviously, this will be the sixth year that the city has partnered with High Impact Movement to provide this after school and summer kind of open enrollment program for youth. The contract itself is remaining the same. It does contain various performance metrics that are in it, and they were listed in your packet. One of the things is to have the annual report, which provides that review of what went on for the summer, provided by August the 1st. And then additionally, from the financial perspective, provide those reviewed financial statements by December 15th, which will be in this term, 2026. The program itself, it has, I know we've got several of the board members additionally, and we do have the new executive director, Gina Rockwell. There has been some turnover there in the leadership, so I know that the board and the executive director wanted to be here for you this evening to answer any questions that you might have, but really this is an extension of the existing program. I think the board has been pleased with the program and the review that we've provided, generally September to October time frame for the board, but again, this is just an extension of the existing agreement.
Any questions of Mr. Spitzer, Director Trustee?
Thank you, Lance. The two changes you mentioned, are those the only two metrics that we're changing the deadline for providing those reports? I couldn't find the previous agreement or the current agreement.
Sure. We've maintained, that was in effect for 2025,
Okay.
that August 1st. We have adjusted those dates over time, kind of as we fine-tuned stuff with how the program operates with the school year, and then provide that the August 1st, that's one of those dates that we've adjusted a little later to provide some time to gather that data. And then additionally, the financials, we've shifted those a little later in the year as well, but to provide ample time for those financial statements to be reviewed and submitted to the board for your review.
All right, any additional questions of Lance? Thank you. Do we have anybody sign up?
No, sir.
Any discussion amongst directors? Director Holliday?
Thank you. I just want to say I'm the one who asked for this to be put on new business, primarily because there is a change in leadership, and I think we all agree that this is a highly important program in our community. I don't think anyone has any question about the importance that this program serves with our young people, but I do appreciate everything that was in the packet. I was able to spend a little bit of time with the leadership of the organization and get some kind of more detailed questions answered. But like I said, I was the one who wanted it to come to new business. So in case there was more conversation that we needed to have, that it was already on the agenda as new, and there, everybody was prepared to speak if need be. But I do appreciate the board and the new executive director and their willingness to communicate and kind of answer some hard questions and have a really candid conversation with me about the program. It's a program I've supported for a long time outside of this body. And so, moving forward, I'm going to stay in this seat and provide some oversight in this role, as opposed to how I've participated before. But I'm glad to see that, regardless of the changes that have taken place, that it is moving forward, and they're still coming to the city as a partner, and are able to provide us with information to move forward and be able to make this decision. So, thank you.
Director Webb.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to say to those of you that are here, on behalf of High Impact Movement, that I support what you all do for the youth here in Hot Springs, and I pray that with these changes that y'all are able to continue on a path forward, bringing blessings to the youth here in the heart of Hot Springs.
Any additional comments? Director Garcia.
Thank you, Mayor. I would also like to welcome Gina Rockwell, the new director, and thank you for being here. I know you're very busy and you got your feet on the ground running when you started out, and I look forward to great things. But this is a critical program for our community, and I'm glad that we'll continue to see it to grow. Thank you.
Director Trustee.
Thank you, Mayor. I too would like to thank the board for their willingness to continue to serve even during this time of transition. I'd like to thank each one of you for your commitment to this organization, and primarily for your commitment to the youth that it serves, and that's what it's all about. So I saw the financial statements, the year-to-date for 25. I saw the 24 financial statements in the budget, in the packet, and then I saw the 26 budget, and I appreciate all that financial information. That's something that I've asked for some time, and I do thank you for providing that, and I too congratulate Ms. Rockwell on her appointment as executive director. Is there anything you'd like to say about Lakeside football while we're all here? No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Sorry, Mayor. Thank you.
Any additional comments? Well, I just want to, I was watching a business show earlier today, and the commentators were talking about, the boards having to lead and make tough decisions, and we see that each and every day, within our individual communities, and certainly here in Hot Springs, and that, being a board member of any entity isn't just to come and do a rubber stamp. You really got to roll your sleeves up and get in there and make sure that things are being done, and make the tough decisions. And I appreciate the High Impact Board, for your leadership and ensuring that the mission of High Impact continues to serve. I appreciate people from the past and bringing programming forward. And things evolve and strengthen and expand, and so that's what we're looking for. So thank you very much. Appreciate you very much. Hearing no further comments, please call the roll.
Director Garcia.
Aye.
Trustee.
Aye.
Holliday.
Aye.
Beard.
Aye.
Dobbs Smith.
Aye.
Webb.
Aye.
Mayor McCabe.
Aye. Resolution is adopted. Our final action item of the year is to consider ordinance O-25-51, and I'll entertain a motion and a second to suspend the rules and read by title. Director Garcia, Director Webb. All in favor of the motion to suspend the rules and read by title signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Please read by title.
Ordinance O-25-51, an ordinance amending ordinance number 6534 pertaining to the City of Hot Springs employee parking program and amending ordinance number 6521 pertaining to the City of Hot Springs downtown resident parking program, codified in Chapter 7 of Title 10 of the Hot Springs Code. That concludes your reading, Mayor. If you would, entertain a motion second to adopt.
Motion to adopt.
So moved.
Director
Second.
Garcia, second by Director Trustee. And again, Deputy City Manager, Mr. Lance Spitzer will be here give us a report.
Yes, I think 2025 has been the year. I think we started with parking. I'm going to finish with a little bit of parking. This particular item, it's pretty straightforward. The board adopted a downtown resident and employee parking program. Those fees were waived in 2025. They were set to expire at the end of this year, 12/31 of 2025. What this ordinance does is it extends that deadline to February the 28th of 2026. And during that time, that'll give the board ample time to come forth and, present, or staff to present a more holistic and probably better managed parking program. We will be holding a board work session on December the 30th. That's one of your agenda meeting days. We'll be holding that work session to present the parking program, really discuss these employee and resident fees. So that's something that's upcoming, but this item itself, what it does, it provides some clarity for those current permit holders and extends that deadline into February, and provides the board and staff ample time to come forth with proposed fees for both resident and employee, but also to discuss the parking program, some of the service enhancements and other items that we've discussed in other work sessions. But that's kind of the nuts and bolts of this one.
Any questions of Lance? Hearing none, thank you.
Thank you.
We have a couple individuals that signed up. Mr. George Pritchett, please come forward. And I don't think you moved since you spoke earlier, so change seats in the board chambers. But
Too much trouble to move there, Mayor.
well,
I just want to comment on the parking. This has been a disaster. I can't believe how a plan could go so badly wrong. We had a study done, but we got 600 parking places that people used to either want to live downtown, maybe they work downtown, they didn't pay. Okay, now we want to charge for those. So we're charging for those. That discourages the kind of people that might. Of course, a lot of them don't have cars. And then we have this meeting right here tonight. There's nobody but me to speak, but I got lucky. I found a parking place before 6 o'clock that I didn't have to pay for. But if I hadn't, if I come a little late, I'd have had to pay, or come a little earlier, I'd have had to pay. It's kind of crazy. I know you want to build a parking garage, but we got parking lots, if I drive downtown any time of day, that aren't filled. Certainly at the end up there by the fountain. We tore a perfectly good parking garage down at the Majestic. We want to build another one. And I just got one thing to tell you guys and ladies. You can't charge any more money than what you're charging now. And even with what you're charging now, you don't have enough money to build a parking garage in the future. You have to abandon something here. You either have to abandon the future parking garage for a very long time, or let a private industry do that, which if it was profitable, somebody would do it with private money, wouldn't they? So, I used to come downtown, take people to lunch. I'm not going to go downtown and park on the avenue like I used to, because it cost me $12 to park for that 3 hours, and sometimes I'd be over that, because I stayed a long time for lunch and talked a long time. I got 1 minute left. See, I talk short when I come up here, but when I'm sitting out there eating with somebody like Dudley or a friend, I talk a lot and listen a lot. You'd be surprised about the listening part. But anyway, we cannot. We can't. The program will never work and generate the money to build a parking garage. I know what the fees are. I lived in Pensacola, Florida. I lived in Fort Lauderdale area. And yes, people paid it in those areas. You went down, you didn't only pay it at 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock, you paid it at 10 o'clock. And you spent the money, but you were in a high dollar area, city of people that spend a lot of money. Never going to happen. The locals will abandon downtown, and downtown can't survive on just the tourists. Thank you.
Thank you. Mackenzie Simon, welcome. Come forward and restate your name, address, and district, please.
Hello. Hi, my name is Mackenzie Simon at 502 Central Avenue, downtown. I own a small business in the historic district of downtown. I'm here to advocate for free parking for our downtown employees. I'm asking for compassion from our city directors when making their decision to charge employees to park. We're grateful for the free parking that y'all have provided for my girls thus far, and it has been appreciated by all. But for the safety, the well-being, the future of downtown, the parking garage and secondary zones need to be free for workers to park in. On that same note, I'm so glad that the world-class Hot Springs School District was honored tonight. The students, their students make up a large portion of my kind-hearted staff. The other portion of my staff is under the age of 22. Choosing to punish these high schoolers for wanting to work downtown would be devastating for the growth of downtown and for Hot Springs. Thank you guys so much.
Any questions of Mackenzie? Director Webb?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Ms. Simon, I believe you're who shared some of your insight with us in an email.
Yes,
and you had discussed
to all of you.
some potential criminal behavior at night.
Yes.
Before you leave, Chief Harverton's here. I would just ask that you please visit with Chief to see if you can come up with some type of remediation to that issue.
We need it.
Thank you.
I believe we did take away the downtown police officer, and so asking for employees to pay for parking, forcing them to park away, and then walking to their car at night is terrifying. But parking in the parking garage is perfect and well lit, has cameras, it's safe.
Any additional questions of Mackenzie? Thank you.
Thank you all.
Well, again, the action that would be taken today would just be to extend the current parking program through February 28th, 2026, and allow city administration and the board to review other options and how we would move forward. So, discussion amongst directors. Director Webb?
Thank you, Mayor. Well, first, I just want to give a, oh, wait. No, we are voting on it now.
Yeah, we're on a,
I heard you say discussion amongst directors.
Ordinance here.
This is, we got a vote to do first.
Yeah, we got to vote. We're not under items for discussion, but we are. You have anything on this item? Or-
No, Mayor.
Okay, very good. Any additional discussion on this ordinance O-25-51? Hearing none, call the roll.
Director Trustee.
Aye.
Holliday.
Aye.
Beard.
Aye.
Dobbs Smith.
Aye.
Webb.
Aye.
Garcia.
Aye.
Mayor McCabe.
Aye, ordinance is adopted. Moving on to Board of Directors, items for discussion. Director Webb.
Apparently his.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm surprised you know I have something to say.
I just figured.
Well, the first is I want to give a shout out to our stormwater department here with the city. I've been noticing and hearing from a lot of residents that there are some improvements taking place, not just within District 4, but all across the city. And so I want to give a huge thank you to the city employees that are involved in that process, and to our city manager, Bill Burrow, for providing the oversight in that aspect. I know we've got a greenway that's being constructed pretty close to Kimry Park, and I haven't heard anything but just good things as that project's been rolling along. So that's good to hear. And a couple of questions. We heard, some updates on different departments within the city. So I was going to check to see, do we have any update on the new director search for sports and recreation?
So I've decided to combine sports, parks and trails and recreation back under the Parks Department. So we will now have Parks and Recreation again. We will be hiring a manager for that position. I think that's posted, but we haven't closed that yet.
Okay. And then the other question is in regards to the master plan for the sports complex for soccer, pickleball, and tennis. Do we still have any surveys that are still available for the public to take to give feedback? And how is that accessible? I know we did have one. Is that closed?
We have more
or-
than one, but I
Yeah.
think that is closed. We're waiting on a report now. There are some deliverables that we're still waiting on that'll be coming probably right after the beginning of the year.
Do we have any stops? You know, I know HAF was teaming up with a lot of city staff to make stops at different events to kind of go out and visit with people, the residents here of Hot Springs, to poll residents for input. Do we have any more of those stops coming up? And if we do, where are they happening and when?
Lance, do you know if we have any more?
I believe there are a couple more opportunities.
Okay. Can you share when those are and where?
I'd have to look on the project website. I don't know off the top of my head.
Would you be able to
We
make
can
that
send that out
available
to you, though.
to the directors?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's all I had. Thank you, Mayor.
Any other items for discussion? Director Beard?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I would like to share my report from National League of Cities. It turns out the National League of Cities is a reliable and trustworthy resource. The White House used many of NLC's press releases during the government shutdown. The NLC was more critical than ever in sharing information and updates with the public. This is a reminder that when federal government is not in full operation, the municipal government has an essential role to play for residents. And as you know, vacant buildings and homes are an invitation for mischief. This has been a concern across the city, especially in District 2. I met employees at a company called Dogs, that's DAWGS, Vacant Property Security, which offers steel door and window guards. The firm works with municipalities, housing authorities, and real estate professionals to deter break-ins and arsons. It would decrease the numbers of squatters who cause damage to abandoned or empty structures. And I've included the contact information on here. We would need to contact dogsinc.com. Okay, and then next, I've previously spoken about the Housing Accelerator. I had an opportunity to speak with Lauren Lowry, who is NLC's Director of Housing and Community Development Municipal Practice. We discussed the valuable untapped resource of the accelerator to address equitable and affordable housing. She highlighted the Housing Supply Accelerator playbook that covers collaborations, construction, land use, and regulations. There are also NLC University courses for municipalities to manage housing development, financing, and homelessness. And I mentioned this one before in a previous report. But then she also told me that there are scholarships available for these courses. These courses that would be great for board members and city officials, so that might be an activity that we could to consider for next year. It would help municipalities expand on the quality and quantity of units. I also had the pleasure of speaking with Mike Wallace, who is the Legislative Director for Housing, Community, and Economic Development for NLC. He is an expert in navigating programs like the American Rescue Plan. He is available to assist local governments on issues involving affordable housing and accessing funds. So he is someone the city can consult with questions or concerns. And then I picked up an issue of American Ramp Company, a national magazine about bike trails and skate parks. And that's this right here. This is their 2025 issue, and it has bike parks from cities, it has bike parks from cities across America, like South Jordan, Utah, Troy, North Carolina, Temecula, California, if you remember that from that SNL skit one night. It's kind of funny. You saw that. And then Sandy, Oregon. But on page 14, check this out. Here is our bike park in Hot Springs. That's it. This is Belding Street. This is District 2. We have made a national bike park magazine. Bill, did you know about this?
Didn't know we were in there, but I did know that that was our company.
I brought this for you.
Very nice, thank you.
Okay. You can pass that over to Bill. Okay. And then lastly, I was appointed Vice Chair of National League of Cities Small Cities Council. I will serve alongside Chair and Council Member Brian Thomas from Case, South Carolina, Mayor Jody Miller of Freeport, Illinois, and me. We will all serve as Small City Vice Chair and Chair. And I look forward to serving in this one-year term. And that, Mayor, concludes my report. Thank you.
Very nice. Thank you very much. Any questions of Director Beard on her report? Very good. Thank you. Any other updates? Director Holliday's got her hand waving.
I do. I want to apologize for the board for not providing a report yet, and I appreciate Director Beard's brevity. I am known for over-communicating, if that's not a surprise, and I have not gotten the report below 12 pages. So I was actually working on it earlier today. But it is, it was wonderful to go. I do think any time that we can send a couple of people, it's useful because we passed each other once in the hallway, so we were at completely different sessions and are able to bring back twice as much information. And so hopefully in the next couple of days, you guys will get an email. I'm not going to sit here and read it to you, but there were a lot of really incredible resources, and housing was at the top of the list, like Director Beard had mentioned. They have a lot of really amazing housing resources. So yeah, it's always a good time. I haven't been for several years, but I wanted to let you know that it is forthcoming, and I will try my hardest to not send you a novel. So.
All right.
It's ridiculous.
The abridged version will be out next year.
Before we go to Director
Cliff notes.
Garcia, is there anybody else who hasn't spoken would like to speak?
I've got one thing.
Pardon?
I've
You
got one thing.
Comment? Go ahead.
As you know, we resurfaced Kimmery and Family Park tennis courts. Family Park is holding up really, really well. They look good. We're seeing some chipping and some peeling on Kimmery. Kimmery is Kimmery. But it is under warranty. We have talked to the company. They are going to come back in March when it's a little warmer and relay Kimmery. So I've had a couple of people that have played out there that I've spoken to or had communication with, and let them know that. But but Family is holding up well for those that are wanting to play tennis or pickleball. That can go there, and you can still play on Kimmery. It's just we're seeing some of that peeling. There was a lot more rehabilitation that we had to do at Kimmery, of course. Some of the same cracks, but that's kind of where you're starting to see that peel, where it didn't adhere to whatever bonding was in the cracks. So in March, they'll be back to resurface that under warranty.
Very good.
In case you get calls.
Not city related, but volleyball related, and since Director Trustee has always kept us up to date on women's volleyball, particularly the Seminoles of Florida State, I want to just let him know, and he probably already knows this, that while I was raised in Wisconsin, and the Wisconsin Badgers women's volleyball team knocked off Texas this past weekend.
Oh.
And so now they're in the Final Four of women's volleyball. So if you don't have a team to choose or cheer for, might as well become a Badger and cheer for the Wisconsin Badgers women's volleyball team. I do have one question for you
Yes,
on
sir.
women's. I mean, it's hard to tell how tall these women are, and I think they're really pretty tall. I think. I mean, some of them are.
Yes.
Do you? What was the tallest player on this Florida State's team?
I think she was 6'4". I had to look up to her when I stood beside her. And she
Okay.
played indoor, and then she came out and played beach volleyball the last
Yeah.
2 years. Yeah.
Yeah, there are some tall women
There are.
on the courts. So,
Yeah.
all right, Director Garcia, you're going to bring us out. You're going to conclude the year, at least from a regularly scheduled meeting standpoint.
Yes, Mayor, and I would like to have a thank you. Recently, we had the Toy Museum had an exhibit at the Garland County Library. The Sister City Foundation was a supporter in bringing that, and our people from involved with our sister city in Hanamaki and Japan. And I was so impressed with all of the variety of wooden toys that I had to get some for my great-grandsons. And I hope that as they look at partnerships in this area in 2026, that I could see that being an economic development for not just the museum, but manufacturing and making these items for the museum and for sale. And I really hope that something becomes of that, because they want Hot Springs to be the first U.S. location. And they have multiple locations in Japan, not just Hanamaki. But I was so impressed with that. It just ended this past weekend.
I took them to dinner last night, and we also drove around and looked at a couple of really good opportunities for them should they have a permanent facility. And I could tell you that they do plan to come back in 26. They are wanting to work towards that museum being in Hot Springs. And so to the point of, like I said, we've looked at some facilities or buildings yesterday prior to dinner, and had really good conversations with them throughout the evening on that.
That's great. Thank you for that update. Hearing nothing else, I move to adjourn.
Second.
Okay. Ooh, that was quick. We got a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same sign.